This video discusses race, inequality, discrimination, violence, and social conflict. These topics may be uncomfortable, but are presented for educational and historical understanding, not to promote hate or division. This lecture discusses race, inequality, discrimination, violence, and social conflict. These topics are for educational and historical understanding, not to promote hate or division. Welcome to SYD 3700, Intergroup Relations in America. We will be exploring bridging divides, faith, fitness, and finding common ground. Remember the quote, "Before I built muscle, I had to build empathy." Our focus is on intergroup relations in America, seeking common ground between different groups. We'll examine how empathy is essential for unity. America is many groups living together, colliding, cooperating, and competing. Intergroup relations shape who feels safe, heard, and has access to opportunity. This is not just history. It is happening right now. Intergroup relations in America involve many groups living together, which affects safety, accessibility, and opportunity. This is a current issue. What are intergroup relations? It is the study of how groups interact based on race, class, gender, and religion. It examines power, privilege, and inequality, as every group defines us and them. Intergroup relations study how groups interact, examining power, privilege, and inequality. It explores how groups define us and them. The roots of division include a history of systemic inequality like slavery, segregation, and redlining. Stereotypes sustain power imbalances, and discrimination becomes invisible when it feels normal. Systemic inequality, like slavery and segregation, forms the roots of division. Stereotypes reinforce power imbalances, normalizing discrimination. Identity and belonging are vital. We all seek connection and validation. Group membership shapes confidence and opportunity, and fear of difference fuels prejudice. Belonging can heal. We seek connection and validation, and group membership impacts our confidence and opportunity. Prejudice is fueled by the fear of difference. Belonging heals. Implicit bias and perception mean unconscious attitudes affect our decisions. Media often reinforces stereotypes, and awareness is the first step toward change. Implicit bias is when unconscious attitudes affect decisions. Stereotypes are reinforced by media, and changing these patterns starts with awareness. In conflict and communication, misunderstanding breeds resentment. Real dialogue requires vulnerability and respect, and shared goals break down barriers. Misunderstanding causes resentment in conflict. Vulnerability and respect are key to real dialogue. Shared goals are essential for breaking barriers. Faith traditions teach empathy, justice, and unity. Churches and mosques can either divide or heal, and true spirituality unites people through service. Faith traditions promote empathy, justice, and unity. Places of worship can be forces of division or healing. True spirituality connects people through service. Fitness can be a common ground. Gyms, teams, and health goals unite people across class and color. Strength culture values effort over ego, and shared sweat breaks down social walls. Fitness unites people through shared goals, valuing effort over ego. Shared physical activity breaks down social barriers, promoting unity. Moving from division to dialogue means listening matters more than winning debates. Education and empathy drive inclusion. We cannot heal what we refuse to face. Dialogue requires listening and focusing on understanding. Inclusion is driven by education and empathy. To achieve healing, we must face the issues. For reflection, remember, we don't need to be the same to stand together. Unity begins where empathy begins. Our stories represent the American mix: struggle, redemption, and shared humanity. Standing together does not require sameness. Unity starts with empathy. Our shared humanity is built on struggle and redemption. Here are some scary statistics. Studies show people make snap judgments in under 1 second, often based on race, gender, or perceived class. Resumes with ethnic-sounding names receive fewer callbacks than identical resumes with white-sounding names. Snap judgments are often made in under 1 second based on social markers like race and gender. Data shows biases affect opportunities, such as callback rates for resumes. Many Americans believe discrimination is over, yet data shows persistent gaps in income, housing, health, and criminal justice. Age-related resentment is also rising, with older adults feeling invisible and younger people feeling economically locked out. Persistent data shows gaps in income, housing, and justice, despite some beliefs that discrimination has ended. Generational resentment is fueled by feelings of invisibility and economic exclusion. Workplace studies reveal that most discrimination cases are never reported, often due to fear of retaliation. The truly scary part is how normalized these numbers have become. Fear of retaliation means most workplace discrimination goes unreported. These statistics are concerning because they indicate a normalization of injustice. Consider these headline-style cases. A diversity program intended to reduce bias increased resentment instead. A neighborhood dispute escalated to violence after being framed as, quote, us versus them. We see cases where intended diversity efforts create resentment, and disputes quickly become us versus them conflicts, leading to violence. In other cases, a viral video led millions to take sides before the facts were verified. A company was criticized both for addressing race issues and for not addressing them enough. These show that intergroup tension is constant. Social media often drives immediate polarization, and organizations face constant tension regarding diversity efforts. These examples highlight the persistent nature of intergroup conflicts. Let's explore some controversies, starting with, is bias always conscious? While many believe racists are bad people, social science suggests most bias is unconscious, learned early, and reinforced quietly. We ask if bias is always conscious. Social science indicates that most bias is unconscious, learned early in life, and subtly reinforced over time. Controversy 2. Does diversity automatically reduce conflict? Contact theory suggests interaction reduces prejudice. However, contact without power balance can unfortunately increase hostility. While interaction should reduce prejudice, diversity doesn't always reduce conflict. Contact without balanced power structures can, in fact, lead to increased hostility. Controversy 3. Who benefits from division? Political, economic, and media systems often profit from conflict. Fear and outrage keep people engaged and distracted from core issues. We must consider who profits from division. Systems like politics and media often gain from conflict, as fear and outrage keep audiences engaged and easily distracted. Controversy 4 asks, is talking about race making things worse? Some argue that discussion deepens division, while others argue that silence protects inequality. There is no easy answer. This scene is an image. There is no script content to summarize. We move to conspiracy-adjacent questions. Are groups intentionally pitted against each other to prevent unity? Is economic stress redirected into racial or cultural blame? This scene is an image. There is no script content to summarize. More conspiracy-adjacent questions. Is culture war language replacing class conversations? Are algorithms amplifying division because conflict drives clicks and engagement?